The Varsity Sports Network high school game of the week. We're just getting ready for kickoff at St. John Paul II. They're on the road here in historic Corry Field in Quincy, Florida. The Munroe Bobcats, it's homecoming. The Bobcats in all red will get things rocking and rolling for us. They won the toss as a give me the ball. Kickoff coming for JP2. A nice little pooch kick over on the far side. It's going to bounce about the 26-yard line. It's a live ball. Munroe picks it over on the far side, and it'll be lost on the return a little bit, but Munroe will look to take over and get things rolling. Looking to make something happen on the return is Keon Robinson, listed as an athlete here, James, and you know it's a dangerous man when he's got the old ATH in capital letters next to his name.
Also, it was a very dangerous kick.
Yeah, right?
JP2, and they had a player that was almost right there on top of the ball. That's one of those, if you're Keon Robinson, you better come on up and get the ball.
Yes, sir, because that's a de facto onside kick, Joe. That is alive and well. They can go after that bad boy. So first down and 10 to go. Getting rolling here, Munroe on offense, led by Xavier Gray, the quarterback. It's going to be a rush out here to the right-hand side, coming back towards the right hash mark. Forward progress will put him right about the 28-yard line. Good little start off. Anquan Jordan, Joe, we will see a lot of him, and he is a back that can get it done. Coming in on the season, Joe, averaging over 8.5 yards a carry, and he's had 4 100-yard games. He is one that is dangerous, and he can take it the distance at any drop of the hat. One of the most dangerous men out here on the field tonight. So Xavier Gray, also a solid dual-threat quarterback coming into his junior season, going to run out of the pistol. Gray's going to go read option quarterback keeper. He lowers his shoulder and corralled over on the far side right about the 25-yard line to bring up a 3rd and short here for the Munroe Bobcats.
Nice play by JP2, stringing it out here for a minimum game.
Keep things rolling. Here's the Bobcats huddle up. This is an all-Region 1 Class 2A game, Joe. Both of these teams in desperate need of those RPI ranking points that we've had come out the last couple weeks, and it could really grab some here and keep their playoffs alive. Honestly, to put it bluntly, Joe, the team that drops this game is probably eliminated from postseason contention. So big 3rd down upcoming as we start this one off for Munroe. Gray's out of the shotgun with Jordan to his left. Rushes Jordan trying to get the corner. Couple pursuits from JP2 and eating up about the 22-yard line. It's going to be a tackle for loss over here on the near side. And the Panthers coming up big on 3rd down. A monster stop over here on the near side. Joe is just eaten alive right there. It's tough to see these new-look numbers for JP2. They are so shiny, but I believe it was Michael Williams, number 64, the 6'2 junior, just enveloped Jordan on the edge. That is a giant young man, Joe.
But give credit also to number 10 for JP2. He strung the play out and forced it back inside.
Punt off for the Bobcats. Back to return just inside the 50-yard line. It's going to be fumbled. Ball's on the ground. Is up for grabs, and it looks to be recovered by the Bobcats just shy of midfield on their territory. And ball awarded back to Munroe. So they got stopped on 3 and out to start the ball game, but able to rip it back out of the hands of JP2. First down and 10 for the Bobcats. An absolute heartbreaker for the talented athlete Terrion Arnold on the return for JP2. A new life here for Munroe on homecoming, Joe.
And we'll see if they can take advantage of it right here.
Absolutely. These are the times in big games and big moments you want to hit the ground rolling here and try to get some momentum. Gray out of the shotgun. Jordan to his right. He's going to go. Look at that arm over here near side. Robinson in the boundaries, and it falls down to the turf. Incomplete. Good positioning defensively. Camden Flowers, the sophomore DB, in position for the JP2 Panthers. 2nd down and 10 is where that one will leave us here, Joe, but I'm liking these fire red uniforms from Munroe, man. They got a nice little Bobcat on the helmet. Of course, they got the gray accent, the white numerals, the gray piping around those numbers. They got some pride stickers. They really have a collegiate feel, do they, Joe, out here. So 2nd down and 10 to go for the Bobcats. Still scoreless here from Corry Field on homecoming night. JP2 visiting your local Munroe Bobcats. Gray out of the shotgun. Sidecar left is going to be Jordan. He's looking over to the side of the JP2 bench. He's going to tuck it in and run. Lowers the shoulder over the 50-yard line. Tumbles Gray. And so it'll set it up for a nice about 3-4 yard conversion there, Joe. So he's going to need about 6 or 7 here on third down.
It's going to be third and about 6 here. Nice decision by Robbins, by Gray here to get positive yards. Make it kind of a manageable third down.
How about your quarterback with 84 carries on the season, Joe? He's also averaging over 7.5. The quarterback has 4 games rushing for 100 yards or more. This is a certified dual threat quarterback, Joe, as we have a stoppage here for a penalty flag coming over from the far sideline. The side judge is pointing towards the defense.
All sides.
So it's going to put it on a very short conversion. Joe is going to set it about a 3.
Third and 1.
We say 1.5, or are we going to go solid 1 here?
Solid 1.
Gray out of the shotgun. Jordan to his right. Goes a nice little slant route. Oh, and he's absolutely smashed. A big hit coming out of the secondary. And I think Terrion Arnold still got a little anger from that fumble on the punt return. An absolute monster hit over here on the near side, jarring the ball loose. No way Robinson could hold over that one, Joe. I felt that up here, my man. Goodness gracious.
Throw has been on the high side, but gosh.
Woo. You wonder if he packed a lunch, Joe. It almost knocked him into the next school week. Goodness gracious. 4th and short, and Coach Lecky says we're going for it. Look at the power package, Joe. Over here on the right side, a couple defensive linemen in. Direct snap to Jordan. Lowers the head, gets inside the 45. First down and more for the Bobcats. Still churning. Forward progress is going to take them to about the 35-36. Beautiful rush there from Munroe. Coach Lecky rolls the dice early. He says, it's homecoming, Joe. We want to party. We need to get this one early. We've already punted the ball once. We're going for it this time. What do you think of the little play call, bringing in the power package with a couple of the big boys?
I like the call. Line it up, power to one side of the field. This is a game you got to take some shots because your playoff life is on the line tonight.
I'm liking it. Yeah, bringing in big number 55, Ronald Dickey was in here, the 5'10 junior. He's also in the backfield once again, joined by Keyshawn Mashburn. It's going to be a keeper by Gray. They're going right side. They pull his pants down, but he keeps on churning. Inside the 30, still rolling. Inside the 25-yard line, Joe. He legit almost lost his drawers and kept on trucking. What a run by Gray over here on the near side.
He did lose them.
Gonna need to go to the bench.
He's got to come out for a play, fix them.
Go back to the bench, make sure they get things organized. So first down rush for Gray as we cascade inside 8 minutes to play here at Corry Field, the historic Corry Field, Joe, out here in Quincy, Florida. The Munroe Bobcats playing their Friday nights here, and it's really cool to, of course, them just being a 10, 15-minute drive away and being able to come out here onto a field that has a lot of history, seen a lot of successful players, a big-time feel over here at Corry Field. Direct snap. Jordan is your quarterback, kind of a wildcat look, eating up in the backfield. Good pursuit over on the far side. JP2 defense all surging through there. Michael Williams and the boys tracking that one down and corralling a little tackle for a loss. Going to set up right around about a 2nd and 12, I'd say. Joe, here as we approach 7 minutes to play in the opening quarter.
Nice job by JP2. They pinched that thing in. They were pinching inside and trying to make them go outside, and they had good pursuit on it. Nice job.
So here we go. Gray back into the ball game. Jordan will take a seat, so he's going to go out of the shotgun. Bootleg towards his right. Now he steps firmly, puts his hand, and intercepted, going the other way by JP2. Spin move, stays in bounds, and it's Terrion Arnold going the other way with the interception. Number 11 surging from near sideline all the way to the far sideline, 20-yard line. Needs one more tackle. He fumbles it. The ball's on the ground. He's going to need some help from his JP2 teammates. There's a scrum inside the 5-yard line, and Munroe recovered. Oh, my goodness. An absolute insane sequence of events. We thought it was a gimme. It looked almost like a touchdown. Great interception by Arnold over on the far side. Joe, he legit runs 95 yards on the field. He probably runs about 150 in total, going from near side all the way back to far side. long story short, he gets inside the 10-yard line. Munroe able to jump on top of the fumble, and so it is a 1st and 10 for Munroe, and they're pinned all the way back inside their own 5-yard line. Just a very, very strange start to this ball game. Keeper is going to be given off to Jordan, and he's going to surge forward outside the 10 towards the 15, so a good-looking rip. It's about 9 yards. Oh, they're going to say he gets the full 10, Joe. Say, give him the first down, my man. Keep on trucking. What a crazy game. This is odd. This is fun.
JP2's already got 2 turnovers in this game, and both of them were crazy. And we got a timeout, JP2.
It looks like we're going to have a quick timeout, so we're going to jump out for a quick commercial break here in the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. Andrew, Joe Ward, and Carson Schmidt bringing you the action. Come right on back after a word from our sponsors. Munroe on the ball now, 1st down and 10. It's their second play of this offensive possession. Jordan's going to get a little bit of space. He's coming down the near side, 50-yard line. One man to beat, going to track him down by the shoulder pads and whipped out of bounds. A touchdown-saving tackle by DeMontrez Jackson of JP2. Anquan Jordan almost making a house call there. Another big-time run and another highlight reel play here in this Munroe JP2 game, boys.
62 yards on the play. The penalty is going to be kind of like a horse collar type tackle on JP2 because he kind of got him up high.
Yeah, got him up high and whipped it down there, but a crazy run, just an absolute rip there, barreling down the near sideline. And we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, Joe. Can't give Anquan Jordan any space. He is a threat, perhaps the biggest threat. I can't say for the ball game, Joe, as we've seen what Terrion Arnold can do for JP2 as far as getting in space. But as far as Munroe concerned, I think he's potentially the biggest home run hitter, as they like to call him.
You can see why. He's already got 84 yards on 6 carries.
So we're going to go Munroe in deep in JP2 territory. They're going to say they're just
about the 11
side of the 10-yard line. So we'll be 1st down and 10 here as they're pressing the issue. Gray on the direct snap is going to go QB keeper to the right side, diving inside the 10 towards the 5, but a nice small pickup on the field there by Gray. So it'll be 2nd down and moderate to go here. They put this one probably about, what'd you say, 7-8 yard line, Joe?
It's about the 8.
8. So we'll give him a 2nd down and 7. Need to get to the 1 yard line. Gray out of the shotgun. 2 big boys in the block here to the right. He's going to follow them to the right-hand sideline, pressing towards the goal line, following those blockers just behind Hugo Baruti as well as Keyshawn Mashburn. Surging forward, and the big quarterback lowers the head and doing some big productivity on the ground. 3rd and short to go here for Munroe. Going to have a little switch up at quarterback here. They're going to bring in Anquan Jordan, kind of run that wildcat formation here. This is interesting, Joe. It's less of a quarterback change and more like it's a running back change. As Jordan goes direct snap in, goes off the right-hand side. He's stood up by JP2, and we have initial indication for a touchdown over here on the near side. Our first score to break the deadlock. Going in on the right-hand side, it's about a 2-yard touchdown rush. Anquan Jordan on the board, and the Munroe Bobcats have lead here from Corry Field, 6-0 in quarter number 1. What do you think about that one, Joe? That's just some old school football right there, my man.
That's just some old school football. It's kind of an older style version of the powerhouse backfield formation they're running here, and putting more men out there than they can stop.
Absolutely, man. I want to see if they give one of these big boys the ball. Maybe do like a little fridge formation. There we go, right on cue. Going right down Main Street. It looks to be stood up as Ronald Dickey, the defensive tackle, tries to surge right forward, but he is held up short, so this conversion is no good. Entertaining nonetheless here. 6-0 in favor of the Bobcats here in the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. We're going to jump out for a quick commercial break.
You probably know that Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And did you also know there's a local Geico office right in your area? From cars, boats, and RVs to your sweet two-wheeled machine, our friendly insurance experts will make sure you have the coverage you need. So stop by today or give them a call and they'll gladly assist you. Geico, complete with a personal touch at your local office.
Interesting start as we have a little onside kick shown, and one of the referees blows his whistle. Not sure. Maybe they didn't give the whistle for the go-ahead as I think the ruling, because I don't see a penalty marker on the field here, Joe.
Now they're going to. Now JP2 is going to switch a couple of players around. Yeah, there is a penalty. It's going to be offside.
So they're going to give them a legal procedure offsides on the offense, so to back them up from the 40-yard line that we typically see the kickoffs, Joe. And now Munroe will be giving it a ride from the 35. So the kicker on the day here, Jesus. Help me with this one, Joe. Vicentiniere.
Close enough.
Vicentiniere. We'll try to get it right. The kicker, we'll call him Jesus. Easy enough. The 5'8" senior trying to give it a blast. I love those cleats, though. Trademark yellow cleats. He's going to give this one a ride. Nice little boot. He's going to put it over the return man. Going for the out of bounds. It has been touched by JP2. Live ball, of course. Going to be picked up right around the 8-yard line. Coming back against the grain. Swerves out of a tackle. He's got a dressing room of blockers here going down the far sideline. A couple men to beat going down. 15, 20, 10, 5 touchdown. JP2 and another monster big play here at Corry Field. The historic field seeing some great action here tonight. Long story short, it's about a 94-yard touchdown return, and JP2 has leveled the score, Joe. This one continues to surprise.
This is nuts.
Big time punching.
They let the ball go over his head, and then he turns around and takes off. Comes back and breaks one way and then breaks to the other way. And now he's got to see blockers in front of him.
Yeah, and how about the shaking through that tackle is kind of like a carousel. He just goes around, swung back outside like a slingshot, and just rips down. I had a whole entire squad blocking for him. Extra point over on the far side is up and good, and JP2 captures the lead 7-6. Your new score line here from Corry Field. The Panthers up by 1. We're jumping out for a quick commercial break. Come right on back for some more football. St. John Paul II has us at this 7-6 score line. A nice little pooch kick over the top. Ball's rolling around the ground. Punch out about the 35-yard line. Anybody's ball right now. No indication from the referees who's got a hold of this one. 2 referees in total in on the mix. And it's going to say Munroe ball, so living dangerously once again, Joe. But my goodness, JP2 almost now for the second time recovering one of those kickoffs. It's essentially just an extended onside kick, Joe. The ball is live and it can be recovered. It's not like a punt return. Obviously, just like a normal kickoff, almost able to steal 2 possessions now. Here is JP2, but Munroe will recover, take over the offense, and you think we're going to see a little Xavier Gray and Anquan Jordan here?
Yeah.
Fair to say. As we approach 4 minutes to play here in quarter number 1. Big plays throughout. Monster interception return, kick return, touchdown. A huge 60-plus yard run by Jordan as he once again will come near side for Munroe. Surging forward to right around the 40-yard line. Nice little pickup. Second down and 5 to go as Jordan surging forward. A couple boys for the Panthers in on that one. Michael Williams bringing the stop, and I believe Arnold was in on that one as well. Looked like Daniel Dial, the junior linebacker, able to get in the mix too. He says, "Don't forget about me, Joe."
Mm-hmm.
That make a good song. Don't you forget about me. So nice little switch up here. Anquan Jordan's going to go in kind of a wildcat look. Going to keep it rushed to the left. So he goes weak side, Joe. That's the first time we've seen that look. Every other time they brought in the power package with the big boys, Ronald Dickey, Keyshawn Mashburn, they've gone to the right side over their power. This time they go weak. Game 0. JP2 on top of it, though. Can't fool the Panthers here.
Yeah, but you got to show that play
Bingo.
at some point.
Absolutely.
You can't keep going one way the whole night.
Absolutely. Got to switch that bad boy up. So 3rd down and 5, a big one coming here. Xavier Gray back in for quarterback. He's out of the shotgun. Once again, got the big boys off to the right. He's going to follow Mashburn, shakes through one tackle, twists and turns through a second. They bring him down, but not before the first down marker, brought down to the 49-yard line on the Munroe side of the field. First down, and move those chains for the Bobcats.
5th first down of the game so far for Munroe, and he's got 6 carries for 34 yards so far.
Yes, sir. And Gray is a tough man to bring down out there, Joe. A nice-sized quarterback there, just full head of steam, and we've seen JP2 just having some trouble bringing him down. He's been a very effective runner. We can see why he has 4 100-yard rushing games on the year as he's tumbled down short of the 40-yard line. This will be very close
but
to a
going to
first
be a
down.
holding.
Yep, we have a penalty flag on the field here, so it'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, about 13 to go here. Under 3 minutes to play from Corry Field. Once again, out of the shotgun, it's going to be Gray. Found his big blockers, Mashburn on the power rush package there. Dickey also leading in the block, and a whole host of Panthers in on that bring down. Able to make the corralling tackle there. Rylan Moy, among others, for JP2 on the bottom of the pile. I think Demetrius Jackson was also involved. Joe?
Gain of 7 on the play.
So set him up. Need about 6 to go here, about the 42-yard line. Does Munroe here on second down, but a good little pickup there. And Jordan's going to go on the keeper. He's going to flush it out to the right. Good wrap-up over here on the near side as Jordan trying to hit the perimeter, get to the next level of the defense. Terrion Arnold with the bring down for JP2. And he's going to be a name that we will see year-round, Joe, because Arnold is a prolific basketball player as well. Young man's got some talent, and young man's got a J, Joe. I'll tell you what, man, he can shoot. We have one of the JP2 players drop a little mouthpiece there. Run on over, corral that boy. Don't want to knock those teeth out there, Joe. 3rd down and short, going for Munroe. They are now on the JP2 side of the field. It's going to be Jordan in as kind of a wildcat look, or I guess he's just the alternate quarterback now, but JP2 absolutely reads it. A great play there. Coming over from the far side, Daniel Dial, the linebacker, trekking that one down and delivering the blow here for the Panthers. A JP2, a loss on the play, and it's going to set up about 4th and, what do you say, about 6 here, Joe?
6. They ran a run blitz on that from that side of the field. Here, nice call by the defensive coordinator for JP2.
Yeah, good-looking look out here. JP2, of course, on some new leadership. Head man Ed Hill in for JP2. His first season with the Panthers, of course, a legend in the Tallahassee area. Brought the Pop Warner level of football to the capital city of the Sunshine State, and we have a stoppage of play here for the Munroe Bobcats with 17.6 seconds to go here in quarter number 1.
I'm Brian Barnard. I started out in a little store with 2 people on Lake Bradford Road. I kind of liked the carpet business. Did I think I'd be in it for 43 years? Probably not. I fell in love with Tallahassee, I guess, and my family, and just wanted to stay here. And now my 2 sons are in business with me, and we've really grown since they got in the business. I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Welcome back. And so it looks like Munroe's going to repunt the ball here from the 4th and 11. So once again, JP2, 1 man back to return. It looks like, if we can see that number 11, I believe it's Terrion Arnold, or is that a 21 for JP2? Kick is off and away, end over end, tumbler by Robinson, bounces Arnold lets it skip all the way out of bounds right about the 13-yard line. A great punt there from Robinson, the old coffin corner. They let it bounce, and it just cascades out of bounds. A nice, probably about a 45-yard boot there.
40 on the punt.
Rocking and rolling. So JP2 is going to take over inside their own red zone with just over a second to go here in quarter number 1.
And are you ready for this?
I'm ready for it, Joe. Give it to me.
This is their first offensive play of the game.
Oh, because they had the interception and then the kickoff return touchdown. They snuck it in before the first quarter. That's why they wanted him to go. So with 1.5 seconds remaining in quarter number 1, the Panthers from St. JP2 are going to be running an offensive play.
For the first time.
For the first time. Joe, for a second there, I didn't think we'd ever see the offense. But they're out and ready to go here. Got them all loaded up. Setting into it. Going to go with 3 wide receivers under center. I formation look. Here, give off. Going off the right-hand side. A tackle right around the line of scrimmage. Quarterback, of course, is Bryson Hill, number 1. We cascade into quarter number 2, which, of course, is co-sponsored by Brian Bernard's Flooring America and Lindy's Chicken. So thank you to our participating sponsors, bringing you the second quarter of action. Entertaining, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
Second down and long to go here for JP2. Off and rolling.
Demetrius Jackson.
Keep that bad boy on the ground. Number 20. What is Jackson on the depth chart here?
Number 8.
Number 8 rolling in here. Good catch, Joe. Be doing the running back duties. Of course, number 1, Bryson Hill. If you've been watching some Florida High games, you are very familiar with him over the past couple years, Joe. We know the talent, and we know the athletic ability that he brings to this ball club. As we have a 3rd and short going on here for
substitution infraction, JP2. They had a 12th player on the field.
Man, that'll back them up. So that was looking good for them, Joe. Of course, in a very short third down conversion. I almost said a very third down conversion. That'd be kind of redundant. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
Mm-hmm. But now it's a 3rd and 6.
There we go. So backed up and having to put in some work here now will be the boys from JP2. Hill under center, I formation look, 2 wide receivers. Give is to the tailback. He's going to be met, but second effort. Keep on churning. Tries to get out to the 20-yard line. Like the PA announcer said, a whole bunch of Bobcats in on that one. Jaden Briggs and the boys, Hugo Baruti, also involved there. So it's going to be 4th down. And does not look like Coach Ed Hill's going to roll the dice here, Joe. Looks like the punting unit, also the first time that we've seen the punter come out for John Paul II.
4th and about 2.
So not much thought to it. A quick substitution coming in there from Coach Hill. He wanted to make sure get the punter out there, take care of business. High snap, but fielded cleanly. Nice little spiraling kick. Here's the blockers go. They think it hit off the foot of one of the return men from Munroe. The referees, no indication here. The 49-yard, the ball was stopped. And they say it did hit the foot. They said one of the blockers, it clipped off of Xavier Gray. And so they're going to say 1st down to the JP2 Panthers. So a long punt. And, Joe, that's now the second time we've seen that in this game. The punting team recovers a fumble, and essentially it's just like a monster 40-yard pass play.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to be aware of where the ball is at all times here. And whoever it was from Munroe was not aware that ball came up on him.
Sneak up on you real good here, Joe, and that's one thing. Turnovers are the story. What is that, 3rd turnover of the ball game now?
3rd turnover.
Of course, Munroe leading that advantage with 6 points off of turnovers here. So JP2 in little new life is going to be a pitch out to the perimeter. Coming back against the grain. Good move by Jackson. Gets some 1st down yardage and more inside the 34. Keeps on churning. A nice, quick rush there. That's some good-looking stuff there from Jackson.
Good blocking also on that side, creating a nice little hole for him. gain of about 17 yards.
And we'll slide up there, make some moves. Big old rush set now. First down and 10 once again, as we are now under 10 minutes here to go in this ball game in the first half. I formation look, 2 wide receivers once again. Under center is Hill. The pitch on out to the perimeter. Oh, here comes the reverse. Picks up a nice block coming here near side now. Another block on the perimeter coming back against the grain is Arnold inside the 10. Tries to shake another tackler, and he's brought down just outside the 5. Good wrap by Marco Atkins Jr. to save the touchdown. But a monster rush and yet another big play here for JP2.
A little bit of it was a reverse, but kind of a reverse you don't see very often here, because it kind of like they get it to him and he stood there for a second and then he takes off.
A little delayed return there, but some good stuff. Some good stuff coming from the Panthers. Under center once again. It'll be a rush this time to the fullback, surging right up the middle towards the goal line, and he's going to be just short on the play. So it's going to set up a second down and goal for the Panthers. That would be Dial on the rush. Daniel Dial, number 21, sliding in there as the fullback. So second down and goal for JP2. Surging forward, getting in some yardage, and once again going to be marked short. Conversion unsuccessful for JP2. But of course, still 2 more downs. It's going to bring up third and goal for the Panthers. Hill looks over to the sideline, gets some advice for the play call, comes back into the pocket. Of course, Bryson Hill returning from his appendectomy he had earlier in the year. Joe, we hear he's been coming along and progressing nicely, but one of the most talented athletes on the field here, dealing with some health issues, finally getting back into the fold. As this one's going to go back corner of the end zone, and flag on the field. And it looks like they are going to tag him up for some pass interference over on the far side here, Joe. With over 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Of course, co-sponsored by Lindy's Chicken and Brian Bernard's Flooring America is this quarter number 2. This JP2 is going to set up with a nice-looking field position here. Still goal to goal. Of course, in high school, it's not an automatic first down, Joe, here in the state of Florida, so it's going to be half the distance. Third down still and goal. I formation look. Hill is going to be the give, and Jackson is met, and he's going to surge in for the touchdown. Put it on the board for JP2. They'll stretch the lead to a full 7 with the extra point pending. Rushing touchdown there. Demetrius Jackson, the 5'5 junior, able to cash it in on third and goal for JP2.
Yeah, nice little run there. Got a couple of good blocks on that left side to open up the hole. And they take advantage of the turnover and put 6 on the board.
Absolutely. Can't mess around with that one. Just nice little drive, getting down the field, and extra point no good. So we will say a 7-point margin here. 13-6, your new score line is JP2 now with 13 unanswered points here in the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. We're going to jump out for a quick commercial break.
You probably know that Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And did you also know there's a local Geico office right in your area? From cars, boats, and RVs to your sweet 2-wheeled machine, our friendly insurance experts will make sure you have the coverage you need. So stop by today or give them a call and they'll gladly assist you. Geico, complete with a personal touch at your local office.
Hi, this is Ray Salas for Lindy's Chicken. It's football time. Score some famous Lindy's wings today with our large party platters, big enough to feed the hungriest tailgaters. Watching the game at home? Pick up some Lindy's Chicken to feed the gang, because game time is Lindy's time. Call ahead or stop by to get your game day started right. Founded in 1968 and still locally owned and operated.
Lindy's Chicken! You're gonna love it!
Back here from the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. Another touchdown on the board for JP2. Demetrius Jackson on the 2-yard touchdown rush gets him in Extra point is no good, but touchdown, of course, still stands. 13-0. We have the play blown dead here.
And they're going to get offsides on JP2.
So another offsides infraction. A couple times we've seen the boys getting a little antsy on the kickoff today. Joe, of course, it's kind of got that football feel to it. We've seen a lot of hot weather here, and we've seen a lot of sunshine. Finally get that little cold front coming in because of the storm. Maybe a little tease of fall, if you will. We have a little sprinkle of rain going on here, kind of a more ground and pound game from what we've seen out of these two. An interesting one so far, filled with big plays like we've seen all over the field from both sides. But it seems that turnovers, once again, the story here, Joe, that latest JP2 drive fueled by the fumbled punt return, or the recovery on the punt return, because it was never fumbled or possessed, but it grazed a player from Munroe. They were able to recover, and so now JP2, 6 points off of turnovers to match Munroe's 6 points. So return coming here for JP2. From Munroe over here on the near side. Robinson on the return. He's upended right about the 33-yard line, which is where Munroe will take over.
And our man, number 11.
Terrion Arnold on the scene again, Joe. He's everywhere. Man, is he quick. He's been fun to watch out here tonight for sure. Obviously, one of the players we spotlighted coming into this game and what we want to keep an eye on for JP2. Some electric playmakers for them all over the field. As we get going here from the left hash mark, Munroe in all red going from right to left. JP2 with the navy blue helmets with the golden panther on top. White uniforms, gold numerals. It's going to be Gray out of the shotgun. Jordan will be sidecar to the right. Shakes through one tackle, coming near sideline. Stiff arms another man into the ground. Keeps on churning. Keeps his feet underneath of him. Good little rush here, but of course the out of bounds, the old 12th man gets him as he crosses the boundary. So it'll be second down and short to go. Nice little rip there from Jordan. I'm liking this back, Joe. What's your take here so far?
I like him too. He's got 100 yards now on 12. Got 100 yards now on 12 carries.
Fifth game of the season that Jordan has hit the century mark. And we can see why, able to get some avenues. He's a power guy, not afraid, even though his stature, Joe, not afraid to lower the shoulder. And he's got that home run hitter quality too. Great blend that you want to see in a running back. Can do it on both areas of the run game. So he'll jump into the sidecar right of Gray. Gray will give to Jordan, trying to hit the perimeter. Surging forward over midfield, shedding off a tackle. Forward progress is going to be right about the 46-yard line. Good little rush by Jordan. First down and 10 for the Bobcats.
Good power run. Not only he's quick, but he's very powerful, very hard to bring down.
And nice little sidestep. Did you see that little, almost like a little karaoke sidestep there?
Little dipsy-do.
A little something on that one. Just kind of slid in there, you know. I like that rush. Once again, first down and 10. As the field conditions start to get a little more wet here with that sprinkling rain coming down amongst us, Joe. And maybe the uniforms do just get a little more slick out there, making these elusive, talented players, especially on the offensive end, a little more difficult to bring down now. Gray give Jordan, this time going on the right side, dragging his defender inside the 40, eventually catches up with him. They'll jump about the 39, but a nice, I'd say about a 7-yard rip there.
Gain.
On first down, set up a 2nd and 3 by Jordan.
And JP2's going to take a timeout.
Quick TO for JP2. I say we take one with him, Joe. Here, Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. JP2 13, Munroe 6.
I'm Brian Barnard. I started out in a little store with 2 people on Lake Bradford Road. I kind of liked the carpet business. Did I think I'd be in it for 43 years? Probably not. I fell in love with Tallahassee, I guess, and my family, and just wanted to stay here. And now my 2 sons are in business with me, and we've really grown since they got in the business. I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Oh, liking this song. A little jams here, back from Corry Field. one of the relics here that we have in the Big Bend area. Historic football going on. JP2, St. JP2 over here visiting Robert F. Munroe here. It's homecoming for Munroe. Currently trail 13-6 under the stewardship of Coach Alex Leckie here in his first year. Of course, he's been around the program for a couple of years now, of course, coming over underneath of Joseph Gaddy, who came in his first year last year from Munroe. So he's been in the program. He knows what's up. But first year at the head helm for the Bobcats. Gray out of the shotgun give is to Jordan. That's a recipe we've seen work for the majority of the night, but great defensive breakthrough there by JP2. A couple of the big boys going to break through and get in on that one. Once again, Michael Williams going to be involved in the play. Joe and the big boys getting through here. I like in spurts what this JP2 line is doing.
Yeah, and it looks like to me JP2 would be better off if they try to go to the side because they're not getting much going up the middle here. Because that's JP2's strength in their run defense seems to be up the middle. Because I don't remember too many running plays they've gotten for big yards going up the middle. It seems to be on the sides.
Yeah, surprisingly so. They're jamming it up pretty efficiently over here in the middle. Peyton Lambert, as well as Michael Williams, we've seen clogging up the middle so far, but good working stuff for them. So, once again, Munroe on the rush here, now on third down. This one's going to be stood up once again. To your point, Joe, they try to go right down the middle. Big boy Williams getting involved, and then the linebacker, Daniel Dial, also getting a hit in. It's going to force a fourth down. And once again, a little decision time coming here for Coach Leckie and the Bobcats in Munroe here, about 4th and 4, I'd say. Just over 6 minutes to go here before halftime. Of course, quarter number 2, presented by our co-sponsors, Lindy's Chicken and Brian Bernard's Flooring America. Ring continuing to come down here. Pistol look going. Xavier Gray, Jordan behind him. 2 wide receivers to the left. Lone wide receiver up top. Ball left hash mark. Quick little hitter out in the perimeter. Needs to shake a tackle, but great solo effort here on the near side. Once again, the linebacker, Daniel Dial, the junior, on the bring down. Joe, a great one-on-one battle. Offender says, I got to beat this one guy, get the first down. Defender says, I got to get this guy, and we get the ball back. Defense gets the advantage there. Great wrap-up. Love the technique and the execution by Dial.
You love the technique, and you love how the defender positioned himself. But like if you're going for a first down and you're going to run that play, you got to go a little further downfield with that. Because if he's having to stand there and wait on the football, he's not going to get the first down.
Yeah. So you're saying throw it into him. I know we've talked about it, Joe.
Go to the line.
Throw it a little bit so he gets a running start is what you're telling me.
Momentum.
Yep.
And also go to the line of scrimmage. Go to the stick where the first down is. Start off with that.
Absolutely. Want to hit the ground running. Got a little stoppage of play here about halfway through quarter number 2. Like we said, presented by Brian Bernard's Flooring America and Lindy's Chicken. Want to remind you that Lindy's Chicken giving you the second quarter action. They've been serving the area for over 50 years. 7 locations. Not to serve me, Joe, to serve you. Listen, they've got the best livers and gizzards you've ever tasted, including the special fresh deboned chicken sandwiches, deboned on the spot. Of course, their tailgate and game day specials available. Lindy's Chicken, you don't like it, Joe. You got to love it. First down and 10 going here for JP2. Going to go I formation. It continues ground and pound affair that we have here. A little daylight for Jackson going down the near sideline. A couple men to beat. Got a blocker out in space, and he's going to cash it in for the touchdown. 60-yard house call for JP2. Third score of the ballgame, 19-6 now. What a run, and that's some quick, effective business being carried out here on a Friday night, Joe. Good little effort, and how about the hole opened up by that offensive line here on the right side? Just absolute daylight for Jackson. Wham! Hits the hole out of here.
They just sealed off the inside, the interior here, and he had big alleyway to go right through. And he is fast.
Yeah, split the gap and just kept on trucking. No doubt about it. Got some help downfield, a good block upfield. I think that was the wideout Jeremiah Outley. And the extra point is up and good, so it'll put it to 20-6. taking the lead now for St. John Paul II here on the road at Corry Field. We're going to jump out here for a quick commercial break on the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. There's still so much more to come. You got to come right on back.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
You can't protect against everything life has in store, but you can sure try. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, we help you protect your investment with regular maintenance options that can keep your system safe. Receive same-day service when you sign up for the Total Comfort Service Program at baranoac.com. Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. Of course, a lot of teams rained out in the area. Tropical Storm Nestor wreaking havoc here in the Big Bend. But the boys down here in 2A said, not so fast, my friend.
We're going to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Munroe says the show must go on. The homecoming show must go on. 20-6 in favor of the visiting St. John Paul II Panthers. Munroe, the crowd still lively and ready for some football action. They believe in the boys. Here, Joe.
Good crowd here, considering the weather.
Absolutely.
Good crowd.
You got to give some love to the homecoming court, Joe. You can't have them come out to an empty city. But, yeah, surprised, of course, with all the threatening weather implications that we've heard about here in the Big Bend area, as they have that, once again, that pooch little onside kick going for about 35-yard line. It's going to be fielded by Munroe. Tackled by a whole bunch of tackers. Jamarion Wimes, the man who catches it for the Bobcats. Short, I'd say about a 3-yard return. He's brought down by Outley and Flowers by John Paul II. And they're going to get things rolling, ready to get it started. Just over 5 minutes to go here in our co-sponsor second quarter, Joe. First down and 10.
At the 39.
At the 39-yard line. We'll see if we can get an answer here. Of course, a big rush recently called back against Jordan on a hold. Trying to spring a touchdown here. They'll go with a little pistol formation. Gray, the quarterback. Jordan, the tailback. Then he'll fall into a sidecar right positioning for Gray. He's going to wait for the blockers. Great patience from Jordan. Able to absorb one of the tackles, but once again falling forward. About a 7-yard rush on first down. And I love the patience there, Joe. He let his lead blocker set up and chop the wood there. Amarion Green, the lineman over here on the left side, getting out in space.
It was supposed to have gone one way. But like you said, patience. He let the blocking form and got a good run out of it. Nice job. I like the way he uses his blockers.
Yep, in no rush. We know he's got speed, but he's in no rush. Once again, pistol formation here, second and about 3 to go. 46-yard line here, left hash. Bobcats going right to left, in all red. Jordan on another rush, and he's going to rip off about 10 more. First down and move the chains. So we talked about it, Joe. Jordan already going over 100 yards in this matchup, already adding to that total. Some big-time stuff, still over 4 minutes to go
and
here
in
in quarter number
half.
2. Yeah.
18 for 137 right now.
Goodness gracious. Pistol formation look once again. Gray shotgun. Jordan's going to come into his left now. Ball towards the right hash mark. Give it to Jordan. He's going to go out to the far side in front of the JP2 bench. Great hit over on the far side. There's our man again. Terrion Arnold on the bring down. Wrap and slam. Joe. Goodness gracious. That's going to be a good lunch combo over there. Get yourself a little lunch meat, a little wrapped up, a little tortilla, a little wrap and slam. Would you throw down for that, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Second down, about 7 to go here off the small gain there for Jordan after the monster hit by Arnold. That was a big league hit. People give a lot of stuff talking about some small ball. We've seen some big-time plays from these boys down here in 2A. Don't let the classification fool you. A little switch up here, wide receiver. It looks like a little carousel go around as Robinson falls into the slot. Once again, Gray and Jordan in the backfield. Keeper, Gray pulls it. Oh, nice cut. First down and more for the big quarterback. Barreling inside the 25-yard line. Arnold's going to drop him, and it's either going to be a horse collar or face mask, I believe, on the tackle over here on the near side. And it looks like Jackson was involved in that bring down of Gray. But how about the big quarterback off the nice little rush there, Joe? If it stands, it's
targeting.
Right about a 15 to 20-yard gain.
20, looks like it's going to be 22 on the carry. But what the ref signaled, it was targeting.
Shot to the helmet. Maybe it was something outside of the play, or when the player went over the course from our vantage point, the tackler went over top of Gray, so we didn't have a good viewpoint. So maybe something that happened on the front end. So I think he was yanking at the collar.
Oh,
it wasn't
horse
a hit to
collar.
head. Yeah, it was a yank on the collar. So very close the way he motioned that one. So it'll be a horse collar penalty. So first down and goal for the Bobcats. Snaking inside to about the 5-yard line. Good little rush there by Jordan, about having the distance to go. Here brings up a second down and goal to go, Joe. Just under 3 to go here in half number 1. Of course, our co-sponsored second quarter, Brian Bernard's Flooring America and Lindy's Chicken. Gray, Jordan, backfield. Oh, great bust through, but Gray is on the keeper. He's going to surge forward towards the end zone and cash it in. What a fake and pull by the junior quarterback, Xavier Gray, putting it in 4-6, Joe. Once again, some big-time stuff had me completely fooled. Gray's 8th rushing touchdown on the year.
Part of the run option offense.
Whoa! You still with me, Joe?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Part of a run option offense here. He can fake it one way and go and tuck the ball and go off the other way.
Going for 2 power package. Of course, they got the big boys. They have Dickey and Mashburn out to the right. Gray follows the boys indeed. So they'll cut it to a 6-point game. 20-14 after the Xavier Gray rushing touchdown and the Xavier Gray 2-point conversion here at the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. We're going to jump out for a quick commercial break. Come right on back for some more football.
You probably know that Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And did you also know there's a local Geico office right in your area? From cars, boats, and RVs to your sweet 2-wheeled machine, our friendly insurance experts will make sure you have the coverage you need. So stop by today or give them a call and they'll gladly assist you. Geico, complete with a personal touch at your local office.
5 yards.
Back here for the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. 5 yards was the yardage for the touchdown that Xavier Gray just put in. Of course, followed it up with a nice 2-point conversion. And, Joe, we are back to 6, my man.
And so far, the little quick stat deal here, Munroe right now has 220 yards offense, 219 rushing. Jordan has 144. Gray has 75.
So they're both, of course, like we talked about at the start of the game, both with 4 100-yard games. They're both on pace to each go over 100 yards in this matchup. But we still got a lot of ball game to play here in our second quarter of action, co-sponsored by Brian Bernard's Flooring America and Lindy's Chicken. 20-14. Received by the up man here for St. John Paul II. Dragged almost into the water cooler here is Charlie Latimer, the junior running back and wide receiver. So great field position to start this thing off, Joe. First down and 10 to start the drive for St. John Paul II. And I keep having to catch myself, Joe. And if you ever hear me say JP2, say, hey, don't forget about the sainthood. Emphasis of the sainthood, of course, the Catholic school down in Southwood, over back in Tallahassee.
Right across the street from Florida High.
Yes, indeed that they are. We've been down there. We'll be down there Monday. Joe, of course, picking up a little Monday night football down there in Southwood. Of course, with the rain cancellations, it's allowed us to get some other opportunity. We have a flag on the field. Excuse me. It's going to be a timeout for the Bobcats. They'll take a quick stoppage of play, and we want to remind you while we have this opportunity to give you some word from our co-sponsor, Brian Bernard's Flooring America, that for nearly 50 years, the Brian Bernard's Flooring America has been serving the area for all of your flooring needs. They have the largest selection of carpet, tile, and hardwood and offer the latest in today's and most popular styles. Check it out. They've got a unique product Unique, Joe. You can't find it everywhere. Called luxury vinyl plank. It's just like hardwood, but a fraction of the cost. 2 locations, one in Thomasville, the other in the capital of the Sunshine State in Tallahassee. Speaking of Tallahassee, they did the old exodus on the football games today, Joe. All Tallahassee games have been postponed till Monday. Just a couple teams braving the storm, if you will, out here and trying to beat out Tropical Storm Nestor that is barreling through our area. This, of course, being one of those. So we'll try to stay tuned on the games that we have going on in the area. But, of course, none taking place in Tallahassee in this Big Bend region. Rush here for the Panthers is going to be Dial. Little fullback into that one. Gets out to the 50-yard line. A nice little 3-yard pickup. Going to set up a 2nd down and 7 as we approach 2 minutes to play here. Give once again to Dial. Met at the line aggressively by the Munroe defense.
Nice.
Ronald Dickey on the bring down. Also involved there, D'Antonio Williams, a 6'2 junior. And that's how you stop forward progress, Joe.
Exactly. Well done.
No way to get around that one. Under 2 minutes, Hill's going to go up top. A little pass from St. John Paul II. A nice reception by Arnold inside the 20, 10, looking into the pylon, and he's able to scamper into the end zone. A big touchdown reception for John Paul II. It's about 50 yards out for the Panthers. Add another one onto the board. This one is Bryson Hill to Terry on Arnold. Monster strike. And a huge reception there for the Panthers. They'll add another one on to this 26-14 as it stands. What's the yardage on that touchdown? Was it right about 50?
50 on the nose.
50 on the nose. Of course, extra point pending, trying to get backed up by 13. Hold down, kick, snap, hold, all good. 27-14. JP2 once again corralling the double-digit advantage here on the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. We're going to jump out for a quick commercial break.
Hi, this is Ray Salas for Lindy's Chicken. It's football time. Score some famous Lindy's wings today with our large party platters, big enough to feed the hungriest tailgaters. Watching the game at home? Pick up some Lindy's Chicken to feed the gang, because game time is Lindy's time. Call ahead or stop by to get your game day started right. Founded in 1968 and still locally owned and operated.
Lindy's Chicken! You're gonna love it!
Back here from the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. After a monster touchdown from 50 yards out, Bryson Hill to Terrion Arnold, we will have another kickoff from St. John Paul II to get us rolling here. Once again, 13-point advantage, 27-14 is our margin. To do the kickoff is Joseph Rigo, the 6'1 junior. Getting ready to give it a blast for John Paul II. They, of course, are in the white and navy blue. Going from left to right, Munroe in all red. Going right to left. Jordan back to return. Tries to catch it over the shoulder. Bobbles it and tips it back up to himself. About the 5-yard line. Corrals it. Has an avenue here near his side. Needs one more block. He's got to beat the big kicker, and he pushes him out of bounds. Good positioning by Joseph Rico. We heard they call him Rocco is his nickname, R-O-C-C-O. Able to push Jordan out of bounds and save the touchdown. Joe, a monster return there. It's going to be about 60, 61 yards. 62, my stat man says. Good looking out. First down and 10 to go here for Munroe. And you go down 2 possessions. You're looking for a spark, Joe. Want to try to get this down to 1 before halftime because, don't forget, Munroe got the ball first. So JP2 is going to get things rolling here in half number 2. So Munroe says, hey, we got to take care of business now. Get this cashed in. Get it back to 1 possession so things don't get out of hand in the second half. You know, do all the things that you need to do to set things up properly and take care of business.
important they get a score here before halftime.
Absolutely.
Because JP2 will get the ball to start the second half.
Yes, sir. The 13-point margin that they're trying to carve into. Ball currently at the 36-yard line. Monroe going from right to left. It's at the left hash mark. Tip of the nose just inside that 36-yard line. Xavier Gray showing a little pistol formation. We have a new rushing back to join Gray in the backfield. It's going to be Hugo Baruti, 3-wide receiver look. Over here on the near side, it's going to be Atkins and Robinson, the wide receivers. As we have some emergency vehicles blasting by the stadium here, and the referees will talk things over. There was a flag over on the 20-yard line, Joe, but no ruling was whistled off or communicated, and it looks like they're going to elect to re-kick this ball as we see Rocco coming back onto the field, and appropriately so as they get the Rocky soundtrack playing in the background here from Corry Field out in Quincy, Florida. So we are going to get a re-kick. It was a flag on the play. I believe it was some kind of a legal procedure. No indication was given from the head referee. So,
or it may have been a case of the refs were not ready, or the chain game may not have been. I don't know about the chain game, but the refs might not have been ready because I didn't see a penalty.
There was a flag about the 15-yard line over on the far side that they picked up, but yeah, there was no official indication over here to the press box. So, of course, we are just hypothesizing at this point of what in the world is going on here. Of course, just under 1:20 to go in the first half of action. Rocco's going to get us rolling. Trying to put foot to leather. Wham! Oh, he's going to go a little pooch kick. A lot of backspin on that one. It's going to be fumbled, and JP2's on top of it. But another penalty flag on the field over here on the near sideline. To the P. Say that one more time, Joe?
I think it's going to be on JP2. Yep.
So this one will be marked off. The ball was initially spotted. Of course, JP2 recovered it.
But they may not have, but they called interference, so it may have been the case that they didn't give them enough room to catch the ball first.
So they negate the recovery, and so it looks like we're going to have another re-kick here.
No, it won't be a re-kick. It'll be first down Munroe at the 42.
Or excuse me, first down Munroe. Yeah, my bad. I saw saw Rocco coming on here, and I thought he was getting ready for another kick return here. Joe, so great catch. Corrected me, but there was a flag violently thrown as the side judge was over talking to the bench of St. John Paul II. Now Coach Ed Hill's coming out onto the field.
Now we're going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and this ball's fixing to go 15 more yards downfield.
So it changed. How big are those two penalties, Joe? It was Panther ball right about the 45-yard line in Monroe. The onside kick was then overturned due to the interference. So the ball was spotted at the 40-yard line for the Panthers. Add on a personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. And this one goes from the 40 to the 25-yard line is where Monroe is going to start this drive. They needed a touchdown before the end of the half. I think this is going to help the cause here, Joe. We want to rush, trying to hit the perimeter as Jordan Robinson getting the perimeter block. Is shaken down. It looks like he's going to be stopped just short of the goal line. A sweet rush there for 24 will set up a first down and goal for Monroe. So do you try to do a little clock management, Joe, or you just try to get in the end zone, don't play any games?
Just don't play.
Fair enough. Gordon trying to hit the perimeter, trying to cut back against the grain to St. John Paul II. Panthers able to corral him. Arnold on the mix there. But to your point, Joe, good call. There is a holding on the Bobcats.
I wouldn't play ball control here. Just go ahead and punch it in.
No games. Fair enough. Fair enough. Of course, about 50 seconds to go here in quarter number 2 from Quincy, Florida. Here at Corry Field, historic Corry Field, now the home of the Munroe Bobcats. Of course, just up the road in Mount Pleasant. So now we're going to back it up to a 2nd down and goal. This one's from about the 10. So kind of a full 2nd down and 10 scenario. Gives to Baruti coming back towards the inside. He's going to get inside the 10 barely. It's going to be a gain of right about 1 on the play there. 3rd down and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. A little stoppage of play. Timeout for the Bobcats. So we're going to head and take on with them here at the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week.
I'm Brian Barnard. I started out in a little store with 2 people on Lake Bradford Road. I kind of liked the carpet business. Did I think I'd be in it for 43 years? Probably not. I fell in love with Tallahassee, I guess, and my family, and just wanted to stay here. And now my 2 sons are in business with me, and we've really grown since they got in the business. I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. 27-14 here. Munroe pressing, trying to cash in a score before halftime, and a good one. And we've got some stats being packed here. What are some need-to-know numbers we have right now, Joe?
Jordan right now has 21 carries for 168.
Goodness gracious.
And Gray has 10 carries for 75 yards. That's 243 between 2 players right now.
Wild stuff, wild stuff. Of course, a 2-score game. They're going to need about 10 more yards to cut this deficit in half. 3 wide receiver look. It's a pistol formation. Baruti is going to be behind Gray. It's going to be Atkins Jr. Robinson here near side. The wideouts, the lone wide receiver on the far side is going to be Mario Saylor, the junior wideout. Now Baruti coming in next to Gray. Gray looking. Good blocking, but he's going to come out of the pocket. He says he's going to tuck and run inside the 5-yard line. Second effort towards the end zone and cashes it in. Does Gray put it on the board? Gray's 2nd rushing touchdown of the ballgame, 9th of the season. Cuts the deficit to 7, 27-7 after the 10-yard Xavier Gray rushing touchdown.
Fantastic run. It was a run-pass option. And he decides he's going to string it out, and then he elects to take the ball and puts it in himself.
Going for 2. Gray once again following the big boys. The running back, JP2, stands it up, and the conversion is no good. So we'll stay at that 20-27 margin. Once again, we're going to jump out for a quick commercial break here on the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week.
Barry knows school, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows school, you can put him to the test.
You can't protect against everything life has in store, but you can sure try. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barron Heating and Air, we help you protect your investment with regular maintenance options that can keep your system safe. Receive same-day service when you sign up for the Total Comfort Service Program at barronoac.com. Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. A good one, 27-20. Here, 19 seconds before the break, Munroe will kick off the JP2 just before the conclusion of our co-sponsored second quarter. Here, brought to you by Brian Bernard's Florida America and Lindy's Chicken. Of course, St. JP2 will also receive the second half kickoff. So Munroe, after cashing in the touchdown to cut it back to a one-possession game, looking to hold the Panthers before halftime so they can go to the locker room on a positive note. But out come the Bobcats in the kicking formation. Vicentanier getting ready to give it a ride for Munroe. Tees it up, a nice low. You can tell he played soccer. Laces on that one. Kicked about the 20-yard line where it'll be received and get things going. And it looks like we have a crackback block here as a solid return into Munroe territory. Gets it back to about the 45-yard line, but the big hit right over by the 30, Joe, and this one's going to be coming back.
And that was our man, number 11. Here, not great return, but it's going to be all for naught. It got an illegal block.
Yep. And how dangerous is Arnold in space? My goodness. Anytime you give him a sliver, we've seen now 3 kick returns, him get completely loose, 2 come back because of penalties. course, the one did stand earlier in the ball game that St. John Paul II was able to cash in, about a 95-yarder. So they're going to say unsportsmanlike conduct. But it was just that monster block. We saw the flag thrown right at that perimeter lay down there. So the Panthers, instead of starting in Munroe territory, will be backed up to about their own 15-yard line. They're going from left to right, which geographically, since we are facing south, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but that would be going east to west geographic? Yes. Odd. Usually the stadiums face north.
Yeah.
The press
this one
box
does not.
How about it? Classic Corry Field. Historic Corry Field. A little shotgun look. Hill with a little busy backfield there. Pistol formation with an H-back in. It's going to be Dahl and Jackson joining him in the backfield. Two wide receivers staying in to block. A quick little hitter. Slant route. Good breakup over here on the near side. Marco Atkins Jr., the junior DB, in the pass breakup. Set up a 2nd down and 10.
They're trying to hit a quick slant to Arnold, and that will end the first half.
There we go. And so we are all set. We will bounce into halftime here. We're going to jump off for a quick commercial break, come right on back, recap the action for you. Jimenez will blast it back to JP2, and you got to watch for the gruesome twosome back there, especially number 11 on our far side, Terrion Arnold, who's creeping up to right about the 20-yard line. And this has been kind of a chess match in the kicking game, Joe. We've seen both teams kind of with the pooch kick, trying to steal an onside, as this one is caught by the backup quarterback here, Blake Wolf, over on the near side. Smartly secure the ball, get down to the turf.
That's the smartest thing you could do.
Clean living there. Live for the other play. We've seen a number of special teams turnovers is essentially been the primary antagonist of the turnovers here, Joe, has been on the special teams unit, which is kind of interesting profile, something you don't necessarily see often, but still look out here in an interesting watch for sure. So far in this ball game, led to a lot of the big plays out here for both sides. But as it stands, getting ready to take over offensively. 1st down and 10. Bryson Hill is going to lead the St. John Paul II Panthers here at about the 42-yard line. Ball marked in the left half. I formation coming from the Panthers. Going to be a pitch on out to the far side. Arnold's going to pull up and throw. He's going to go deep in front of the JP2 bench, tracking back and able to get a hand on it. Breaking it up by the DB, Marco Atkins Jr. saved a monster play over there. Joe, but once again, a penalty flag on the field.
The passer.
Tagged up. Of course, they were going after the wide receiver. Finally got a clean shot at him, Joe. The only thing is, after he releases the ball, you got to let him go there. Roughing the passer on the Munroe Bobcats. What do you think of a little trickeration starting things off for JP2?
I like the call. I kind of got a feeling both teams during the second half are going to take some chances here with the fact that they're going to take some chances with the fact that their playoff lives is on the line here.
Yep. Got to have some risky business, so I like it going for JP2. So they're going to get into Munroe territory on the 42-yard line, Joe. So good little payoff for JP2 on the penalty yardage. So they're going to line up same formation now from the left hash in Munroe territory. Like we said, 42-yard line, I formation, Hill under center. One wide receiver to each side. Give is to Jackson. He's going to go right down Main Street, dropped about the 38.5-yard line. So good looking rip there, almost 5 yards on the gain for Jackson. We approach about 11.5 to go here in quarter number 3 in the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. Now we have a little change of quarterback. It's going to be Blake Wolf, number 4, getting in under center there. The sophomore getting some experience here. Give is to the tailback, Jackson. He will rush off the left side, maybe getting a half a yard to the 38. So it'll still set up about a 3rd down and 5 to go here for JP2 coming up on now 11 minutes to play.
Trying to give him a little different look here. with quarterbacks.
Yeah, Wolf's going to be a little more pocket passer as opposed to Hill, who we know can break out of containment. We see Hill over on the sideline coaching up his boys, enthusiastically so. Just trying to get a little change of pace here. As Wolf, we saw him a lot in the early part of the season, fumbles the ball, able to recover it, just trying to get out of trouble, but no way he's doing that against his big, bad defensive line from Munroe. Everybody in on that one, Ronald Dickey, D'Antonio Williams, and others. I also saw Jaden Briggs get in the mix. Big tackle for loss for the Munroe Bobcats. They drop him back almost around midfield. Joe, it'll be, about an 8-9 yard loss on the play?
9 yards.
Set him up for a 4th down and long to go here, and the punting unit looks like it's going to come on. The ball is the 48-yard line. Need to get to about the 33, so it's a full right about 15 yards.
Offense stayed out there.
Oh, we're rolling the dice here. They break the huddle. I thought it was the punting unit. My mistake. Bryson Hill in at quarterback. 3 wide receiver set. Coach Hill says we're going for it here on 4th and 15. Bryson Hill's going to go up top. He's got a man surging down the numbers, and he catches it inside the 10. Tackle made about the 5-yard line, but a big pitch and catch. Bryson Hill coming back into the ballgame, and there's that vertical threat we've been waiting for out here this evening. Great catch by Jeremiah Outley. He just got separation and just burned the defender. Nothing they could do about that one, and Hill just puts it right on the money. First down and goal to go for the Panthers.
It's like I said, they're going to be taking chances now.
Dial it up. I like it. Hill will stay in the game. Quarterback, I formation ball on the left hash. 5-yard line is the mark. Give to Jackson in the tailback. He's going to be ripped down right about the 10-yard line. Great corral there by Munroe. Ronald Dickey able to drop Arnold. They say forward progress. They get it back to about the 8-yard line. It'll stay goal to go here on 2nd down as we cascade under 9 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. So 25% of the quarter in the books, Joe. JP2 on the charge here, currently with that 1-possession lead, 27-20. Able to receive the ball here in quarter number 3 in the second half. Hill's going to go under center. Once again, I-formation look. 2 wide receivers. Stop and pop going here near side. 2 feet in, and that's a touchdown. Good little throw out here to the perimeter, and for 2 throws in a row, once again, the touchdown here for his first of the game, Jeremiah Outley, the 5'11 senior Bryson Hill. How about that throw from Hill? A familiar look that we've seen over the last couple of years back when he was slinging it at Florida High, Joe. Good-looking number from the quarterback.
Absolutely. Nice little fade route to the corner. Only where he threw it only where his man could catch it, not the defender. Great job.
Absolutely. Good possession, and he didn't need a heroic catch to bring it in. Obviously a great catch there by Outley. But good placement in Hill. They say they want it one more time. Outley's going to do it again. Oh, they say he was able to catch the ball. Paco giving it a boot for JP2. Goes with that little pooch over the top. Fielded about the 35-yard line. And that's the, about 3rd or 4th time that we've seen the offside infraction called on a kickoff?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be called on the kicking team, so they'll back it up from the 40 to the 35.
That's at least the 3rd time JP2's been called for it.
Boys just get a little antsy, especially those ones. It's not like a traditional kickoff where it's going to go deep and you have to, get in your lane and kind of set up. That's just a bum rush kind of feel. You either get the ball or smack whoever picks it up.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to back it up 5 yards, still dead center. You don't often see that is when they're doing the kickoffs dead center anymore, Joe. Usually it favors one side or the other. And then once again, he's going to go with the onside kick. He throws it on the ground. This one just rolls. Never got that big hop, but fielded over about the 44-yard line. Wisely falling to the turf after he corrals it was Jamarion Wimes. We saw Wolf do a similar thing over here on the near side for JP2. And they, from what they've seen on special teams,
better decision-making this time.
Play it safe. Allow the offense to come out onto the field, which it took us almost 12 minutes to see the JP2 offense out here, Joe. But a good little quarter and change look from the JP2 offense. Obviously, team as a whole putting up 35 so far. So let's see how Munroe answers. They're going to come out with a 3 wide receiver set, pistol formation. Jordan behind Gray. He'll fall in to his sidecar left. Jordan on the rush, coming near side. Puts a foot in the ground, surging forward, rips over midfield into JP2 territory. A nice,
Good
about
start.
7-yard rush. Love the vision from Jordan, though. We talked about kind of his prowess and able to break the big runs and the physical. But how about that, to take it outside, let the line flow. He sees the cutback gap, right foot in the ground, bam, directly north-south.
You loved his patience.
Mm-hmm.
Lets his blockers set the thing up for him.
We've seen it all night long. Once again, Jordan out of the pistol formation with Gray back there. Is following his blockers once again, trying to get to the perimeter, but great open field tackle on the far side. Terrion Arnold again making a monster play, so it'll set up a scenario where Munroe needs to convert a 3rd down here. 7 minutes to play here from historic Corry Field out here in Quincy, Florida. Talked about it. A lot of games and a lot of good football players come through this field over the decades. Of course, no Shanks High School with the redistricting. You know, you think about it, Joe, goodness gracious, numbers are hard and escaping me. On a Friday, about 15 years ago, there were 4 high schools here in Gadsden County, Joe, and then we saw them combined into East and West Gadsden, and now they've completely unified under Gadsden County due to the population changes, but this was the official high school field of Quincy Shanks High School. Great little penetration coming out of the back there. Couple-yard loss. JP2 able to surge through the gaps there. And nice little bring down to the ball carrier. Cameron Pryor, Daniel Dial, like the soap, D-I-A-L, on the bring down.
And they actually did not give it to number 8. They gave it to number 7 here.
Maruti
Baruti.
on the rush.
And Munroe wants us to talk about it.
So we'll have a little discussion. Coach Leckie going to call a quick TO. And you know what? It makes sense to take one with them, Joe. Step out here, Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. 35-20. Panthers on top.
I'm Brian Barnard. I started out in a little store with 2 people on Lake Bradford Road. I kind of liked the carpet business. Did I think I'd be in it for 43 years? Probably not. I fell in love with Tallahassee, I guess, and my family, and just wanted to stay here. And now my 2 sons are in business with me, and we've really grown since they got in the business. I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Do you feel a little fake here, right around midfield, Joe? You dial it up?
Tough call to make here.
Play coach right now. Yes or no?
No.
Oh, this one tips off the back of his blocker. It's partially deflected. Jackson's going to field at the 45-yard line. He's got one man to beat going over the far sideline, picks up the block, and cashes it in. A weird punt and a monster return there for JP2, able to cash it in for the touchdown. It's a 3-possession game. The punt hit off of the back of the blocker in the backfield, Joe. Why it came out kind of wobbly and short. And just an odd sequence of events. But JP2 able to capitalize. A monster return for a touchdown. The up man, running back Jackson, cashes it in for the 55-yard touchdown. And it kind of continues the theme of just kind of a unorthodox weekend on a wet, wild affair out here in Quincy, Florida. A lot of these games canceled out here in the Big Bend. This is one of the 4 games still going on, and we've seen a lot of plays that have kind of been just different, just
weird,
unique. Yeah, weird is the only way to put it. Not in a bad way, not a bad weird, but just a unique weird. They can't really describe it. Trying to get a feel of this as JB2 says we're going to go for 2, bringing the backup quarterback, Wolf. And he's going to look over. Nice little fade route on the back. Tipped up to himself. Could not get the feet back in. It looks like Arnold was the intended receiver, but could not get the puppies organized. And it will be a failed conversion for JP2. Panthers coming on strong here with 2 touchdowns early in quarter number 3. A screamer ripped out of the air. Good catch by the upmen of the Munroe Bobcats. Didn't expect it, but Warner Lunt, the freshman, able to rip it out of the sky, return it to right around midfield. Good field position for Munroe to take over on offense. How about that catch, though? Nice hands, Joe. Do you see that? Rip that thing out of the sky. I like that. Got to appreciate some up man with some good hands. So how about that? Another possession, Joe, where we don't see the JP2 offense. We saw the big interception and the kick return touchdown. It took us 11-plus minutes to see the JP2 offense. And once again, on a special teams touchdown, Panthers guys stay on the sideline. First down and 10. Luckily, with the small schools, they get to play both ways, so they're not getting cold out there. Good pull by Gray. Got his uniform yanked on over here near side, able to corral him there on a 2-man tackle in the backfield. Michael Williams on the bring down, as well as Howie Dial for JP2.
Get 3 on the play. Be 2nd and 7. Now, Munroe, if they're going to get back in this game, they got to kind of speed things up a little bit.
Yeah, and of course we're halfway through the third quarter. Joe, not to be too dramatic, but you got to think this is kind of a must-score possession. Because realistically, you can't let it get to more than 3 possessions, especially here, less than 17 minutes of football time to go. So this is a crucial one for Munroe. We have a little flag on the play here by the side judge over in front of the JP2 bench. And like you said, Joe, offsides on the Panthers. So that's about a 2nd and 2 to go. Pistol formation. Jordan falls into a sidecar right. Gray, a huge gap in the line, and he just keeps it. Surges forward, and a monster rip there by Gray. Gain of about 12. Quickly done. First down, Bobcats.
Very nice play. That was a design play all the way.
Just open it up here outside the line, inside the slot receiver, Joe. Full head of steam. Got it going. Did Gray. Once again, going to get up to the line. Strong side left now. Jordan on the take. He'll be planted down into the ground right around the line of scrimmage. Rocco and Mitchell in on the tackle for the Panthers. Or, excuse me, Rocco and Williams in on the tackle. So 2nd and 10, as you heard the PA announcer say, to go for the Bobcats of Munroe. As we approach here just under 4 minutes to play now. Here in the third frame of action. Scheduled to play 4. We'll play overtime if necessary. High snap. Gray feels a give. Jordan trying to hit the perimeter. Twisting, turning, breaking tackles inside the 30 is Jordan. Good looking rush. Williams on the bring down. Got some help from his buddy over here on the near side. I believe it was Outley as well. Helping him corral here. Set up a more manageable 3rd down conversion as they get it inside the 30. Joe, what'd you say, about 6 to go here on 3rd down?
3rd and 6.
Fair enough. We'll take it. We're going to approach 3 minutes to play by the time this one is snapped for the Munroe Bobcats. Of course, a 41-20 lead, as you can see. Already a 14-point 3rd quarter coming from the St. John Paul II Panthers. They have scored the last 2 touchdowns in this ballgame. Gray backpedaling, a little pressure. Oh, no. And they intercept a screen. Beautiful read coming here from JP2. And going back the other way, tackle, they'll give him at the 44-yard line. It's a spot here on the near side. But just a beautiful read by the defensive lineman. But about midway through that tackle, it looked like Jordan had ripped the ball back. They're going to say they're going to stay with the interception. But how about the monster takeaway from St. John Paul II? You got to love when the big D lineman can get the old mitts in there and rip that one out of the sky.
They all stayed at home. It was a screen pass, and it was set up. But you you got to throw it over the top, and Gray did not do that.
So JP2 on the takeaway, sitting pretty already, a 3-possession game as it stands. Really seizing control of this ball game here in quarter number 3. One has been the back and forth affair through the first 2 quarters, Joe. But here in the second half, it is all Panthers. Once again, a little switch up at quarterback. Going to bring Wolf back into the equation. Blake Wolf, the sophomore for JP2. I like when the players, when they do the personnel changes, have distinctive uniform differences. He's got the pink towel and the pink tape. Makes it very easy to differentiate him from Bryson Hill. Rush coming here near side, back to the line of scrimmage for the St. John Paul II. That's going to be Charlie Latimer on the rush. Luke Drude on the bring down, as well as Dickey in on that one as well for the Bobcats. So set up a second down, and they say about a 9.5, but it's more like 10. A little quick hitter out to the perimeter. Wolf, nice little completion. Swung down is the receiver. Small pickup on the play there. Gets him to about the 48. Need to get to the 47. JP2 currently on their side of the field. Xavier Gray on the tackle for Munroe. Like we said, 48-yard line, need to gain the 46 of Munroe. Wolf, quick hitter, once again out on the perimeter, bouncing outside. Good-looking move there, and pushed out of bounds by a whole pack of Bobcats. Move the chains for JP2.
Good possession pass, or just kind of a sit-down route, and turns around, gets some good tough yards after the catch.
Yep. Able to corral. It's Jackson out there in space, getting the back-to-back receptions. And I like the easy stuff, kind of those rhythmic throws. You try to work Wolf into the ball game here. Give him some stuff where he can build some momentum. A handoff pursued from behind. Good bring down there by Keyshawn Mashburn as Charlie Latimer, the junior tailback for JP2, was on the rush. Small pickup there. Set him up with about a 2nd and 9. But on Munroe's side of the territory, and this John Paul II offense continuing to just take some time off the clock, content, move the ball down. They're almost kind of luring you into a big play. We know they love to go vertical in spurts. We've seen a lot of horizontal passing game and a lot of horizontal rushes. Let's see if they go deep here. Wolf getting some pressures, got a break containment. He says, I'm going to tuck it and run. Gets outside, tries to shake a defender. He gets stood up right around the 35-yard line. He'll be swung down. So a small gain on there to force a more manageable 4th down conversion. They need to get to right around the 30-yard line. So tack it up to about a 4th down and 5. And based on what we've seen from Coach Hill out here this evening, I anticipate JP2 is going to go for it. And it looks like with Wolf still on the field, they will indeed. 3 wide receiver look. Latimer, sidecar left of Wolf out of the shotgun. Steps into it, throws across the middle. Ball tipped by the Munroe defense, and it looks to be intercepted and is in the secondary. Great little takeaway from Marco Atkins Jr., and I believe it was Xavier Gray got a hand on that, number 2 in the secondary to tip one up, but good catch there by Atkins Jr. on the takeaway. Had to have it from Munroe.
Yeah, you had to stop him here.
Couldn't let him cash that one in for 6. So to be 1st and 10, this is going to be most likely the final play of quarter number 3. 3.6 seconds remaining here from a drizzling wet atmosphere, though it appears to have dried up a little bit here out in Quincy, Florida from Corry Field. Munroe Bobcats trying to claw back into this one. 12 minutes and change remaining in this ballgame. Have to have a score here. This would be huge if they could just barely into this 4th quarter get it back to a 2-possession game. Could really press the Panthers down the stretch here. So Gray's going to go pistol formation. 3 wide receiver look for Munroe. 5 linemen stand. Nice little block there. And they're going to go weak side. Gray on the quarterback keeper. Nice little pickup of about 8. Beautiful blocking scheme over on the right-hand side. And everybody thought it was going to Jordan with the blocking scheme, but Gray keeps it and goes weak side. Nice little pickup, sets up a 2nd down and short. And that would be the final play of the third quarter. Play underway. Baruti on the rush for Munroe, trying to hit the perimeter. Big time hit out on the outside, able to be dropped there by St. John Paul II. It'll be a first down for Munroe, so a good-looking rush continuing to start things off, and as we begin quarter number 4 here, Joe, and that's exactly how you want to start it. You got to continue to gain yards, have some big pickups, but you got to be moving the chains. Time is of the essence here now that we are in the final frame.
You got to go.
Yep. Shotgun look for Gray. Baruti going to be the tailback. He will hand off to him. Going north-south, and he'll rip off another healthy gain. Looks to be about 10 more on the rush, so they'll go ahead and move the chains again. So back-to-back rushes by Baruti, number 7. Solid pickup for him, so he'll go out of the running back position into the slot over here near side. Ball on the 47-yard line. Gray out of the pistol with Jordan. Baruti over here to the left with Atkins Jr. Rush to Jordan, and dangerous one in the backfield. Slips through one tackle. The second man gets him, but great-looking team-up by JP2. It's going to be Peyton Lambert and Rocco on the bring down. The juniors making some noise out there in the backfield, and Jordan could not escape tackle for loss. Is about 6 on the play, so second down and 16. But great individual effort by both of those players on the JP2 line, getting the tackle for the loss here. So a huddle up by Munroe as we approach 10.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 4. 20-41 is the margin. Munroe need to get things rolling here. Second down and 16. Need some yards, need some points, and they need to do them quickly. Gray's going to wind up to throw, looking for Baruti and Atkins Jr. Broken up here near side. Good positioning by the Panthers DB, Charlie Lattimore, and I don't know, looks like a little cramp up by Lattimore after the breakup. And so it looks like they're going to have to switch him off of the field.
No,
Says he's all right. So it was quick enough where they didn't need to call him over and get him taken care of. So Lattimore says, I got this, coach. Leave me in this ball game. Going to try to get you off this field right here. It's over 10 minutes to go here. We are now in quarter number 4 of the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week, 41-20. JP2 trying to lock down win number 3. Munroe looking for win number 2. Give Baruti once again, surging forward. He'll pick up about 7, but it'll still leave it at about a 4th down and 9 to go for Munroe. And at this point, you got to go for it. So Coach Leckie says, keep on going, boys. Stay out there. Tries to get things called into the boys out in the huddle. I wonder if they have enough. They have too many players on the field here. 3, 6, 9, 11. Okay, looks like they're all right. Just for a second there, the way players are breaking the huddle, could have sworn they had 12. 4th and 10. Greg, I need to go deep, looking for Jordan. Oh, beautiful catch. Nice throw. Right in the breadbasket of the quick tailback. Over here on the near side, inside the 20, first down and 10. Great conversion for Munroe. Puts him inside the red zone with just over 9 minutes to go here in quarter number 4.
They've been putting him on a wideout here in the 4th quarter, and he's matched up on Lattimore. Here, that's the matchup I go at.
Absolutely. It looks like they're going to switch the DBs over here. A nice little counter. JP2 is going to put Raylon Moy on him, number 2 over here on the near side. Surging forward, Baruti on the rush. Nice looking pickup of about 4 there. Get him to about 2nd down and 6. And once again, get his clock rolling. And so we can see when they decide to pass. Munroe's got a solid passing game here. Joe, and some good receivers. That placement by Gray was beautiful on that throw to Jordan, though. Jordan's lined up in the slot right now. They're going to give it to Baruti. He's rushing left side. Great read, and he's trying to do this stiff arm, and Baruti rips the helmet off of one of the JV2 players in the process of being tackled. That's the first time I've seen that one, Joe. That was an interesting development. I think it was Peyton Lambert, the man that got decrowned, if you will. His helmet ripped off by the tailback Baruti. It's going to set up third down right around 7 to go here for Munroe. Just over 8 minutes to go now in quarter number 4. As we're about 33% through this final frame of action. Gray going to go out of the pistol. Baruti behind him. Jordan here near side is the lone wide receiver left on the far side. There's going to be a couple boys out there. Atkins Jr., one of them looking for Jordan in the back corner. The interception almost had it in and out of the hands by Moy over here on the near side. Looks like the injured player is going to be Janelius Davis, the freshman. Looking good on the line over there on the left side, Joe. Bright future for this freshman. That's one thing. We talked about Munroe, of course, kind of in a rebuilding scenario. New head coach. Obviously, numbers in the 2A classification is always typically going to be a thing, but a big junior class. Munroe's going to be one of my teams to watch next year. They're getting some good experience this year. It's been a rough season for them out here, but I'm liking what I'm seeing, and you just wish that Jordan was 1 year younger, because if he could come back with Gray and Robinson and all these other guys next year.
Just be a good ball.
Yeah.
Just be a real good football team.
But they're going to be fun to watch. I'm really excited for them. I mean, the big players on the defense, too. Tyler Dickey, only a sophomore. Ronald Dickey, only a junior. Keyshawn Mashburn is an 8th grader out there making plays. Gray's going to load up, go to the end zone. It's going to be intercepted, and fitting that it should be no other. I believe it's Terrion Arnold. Flag in the end zone. 2 flags in the end zone. But as it stands, Terrion Arnold, the playmaker out here tonight with another pick.
And I think he's going to get called for pass interference.
So he looks frustrated over on the far sideline. So indication suggesting that it is pass interference on St. John Paul II. Of course, it's not an automatic first down here in the state of Florida, but based on the yardage that they needed to gain, it will be by de facto a first down. Yes, indeed. So it's going to put him inside the 10, so it's going to be first down and goal. So it makes it easy on us, Joe.
First and goal.
Keeping it simple. First down and goal to go for the Bobcats. Ball's going to be marked to the tip of the nose of the ball on the 8-yard line. Bobcats are going from west to east geographically, right to left on your screen, however you may be joining us this evening. Gray's going to go pistol formation. Jordan back in the backfield. Now they're going to switch Baruti. He's going to go in the slot here near side. So it'll be interesting to watch, see if they target him. Gray and Jordan, a collision in the backfield, and 2 Panthers going to lay their brain down and having pressure all night. Michael Williams is just having a monster game for JP2 on the defensive line. He is everywhere. When they are able to break through, and to your point, Joe, that's why they're going for those 1 and 5 guys, because there's nothing doing in the middle of the field. Williams just eating it up in the middle there. So it's going to actually be a loss in the play, Joe. They're going to drop, about 2 or 3 yards. They're going to drive them back. So it's going to be a second and goal, but the ball is going to be spotted on the 11-yard line, the left hash here from Munroe. So short side of the field is near side here. Lone wide receiver is Jamirion Wimes for Munroe. We're going to have a stoppage of plays. There's some guy that's going off in the stands over on the far side for JP2, and the referee's legit just told him to leave the stadium. I'm glad you pointed that out, but that was very odd. Fitting in the game that we've had here, Joe. Xavier Gray joined by Jordan in the backfield. 5, 6 linemen. Strong side left. Jordan trying to turn the corner here on the left side, but the old turf monster will corral him on the near side. Rocco with the tackle assist. It's going to bring up third down and goal to go from just outside the 11-yard line. So it's going to be 3 wide receiver set. Here on the near side is going to be Wimes. And it's going to be Atkins Jr. and Baruti over on the far side. 6-man line. Jordan tailback sidecar left to Gray out of the shotgun. He's looking towards the right-hand side pressure. He's got to step up in the pocket, but when he does, he meets some trouble. 2 men from JP2 going to have to bring him down to the ground. Good pressure by Williams. The drop, though, I believe, is going to go to Alexis Sanchez of John Paul II right down Main Street. He had some help in the middle. I believe it was Howie Dial on the tackle assist there, but big stand. JP2 is going to force a 4th down and goal, a timeout on the field. We're going to take one with him here in the Varsity Sports Network Game of the Week. Munroe Baruti is going to be the tailback in the pistol formation. He will now step up sidecar left of Gray. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left is Wims. Gray's going to look over to the right. A nice little out route intended for Jordan, but a beautiful pass breakup over on the far side by JP2. That's not Terrion Arnold again, is it, Joe? Over there, number 11. Oh, man. On the scene again, Terrion Arnold.
Mort and Jordan was open.
Yep.
But he delivered the ball late.
Nice little 7 route there. Coming in, cutting out. Of course, it'll be a backward 7 over there on the far side. But a nice little looking action there, and just good positioning. Arnold breaks it up, 1st down and 10. And, I mean, we've seen some weird stuff out here tonight, so I'm not trying to put the bow on this one, Joe, but it's definitely an uphill battle for Munroe, even more so with 5 and change in this ball game. JP2 in control right now. They have the quarterback, Blake Wolf, in the ball game. Love that pink tape going on that he has on his cleats right now. It's going to be a rush going across the formation from his right, and sliding or slipping, couldn't really tell out there on the far side. Maybe the better path regardless, as Lattimore hit the turf, as the old turf monster gets him as he's trying to hit the perimeter. 2nd and long for JP2 as he's just able to get back to the line of scrimmage. So they move the ball from the right hash mark to the left hash mark as JP2 got the Navy helmets with the gold Panther on it. Gold, bright gold numerals and letters on those uniforms. The Navy pants out here, going from east to west geographically, left to right on your screen. Throw a little low, intended out here, right about the left hash mark of the 25-yard line, trying to hit up Rylan Moy. Coming in on a little post route there. It's going to set up 3rd and long for JP2. Thoughts on the play call, Joe? Incomplete pass, stopping the clock.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one.
Yeah.
I'd be running, just run the football.
Run and run and run.
And get it, and run, take time off.
3rd down and long. You pass it again here?
No. Run the ball.
Shotgun snap. It looks to be a keeper. It's Arnold kind of going on a wildcat formation. Terrion Arnold acting as the quarterback here, cutting back against the grain. Needed to get to about the 24.5. He's going to be stopped up over the 20-yard line, so it's going to force a 4th down. And we've seen Coach Hill go for it a number of times this evening. Would not surprise me if he says, let's do it one more time to seal this bad boy up. But we have a stoppage of play. Scrolling down here from our buddies from Score Stream. Madison County coming back to beat Clearwater International at home 42-34. Cowboys chalking up another win. Just one more to go here. Back in action, Blake Wolf going deep. It's on 4th down. Able to hit a receiver out on the far side, 50-yard line and more. Tackled at the 40-yard line. JP2 up 21. Goes for it on 4th down in a monster conversion. Rip off about 40 yards on the reception. Believe it was the man he targeted a couple plays ago, Raylon Moy, on the reception over on the far side. Nice pickup. So flip sides of the field. Coming over near side is the wide out Outley. And it looks like almost they're just trying to get Wolf kind of acclimated to the quarterback position here and just kind of get him in the groove. So still, despite the advantage and the point gap, they just want to get him comfortable running the offense as a whole. Great pursuit there from Munroe as they pursue and drop Latimer in the backfield. A number of Bobcats involved on that one. Daniel Moran, or excuse me, It was Jalen Denson and Ronald Dickey in on the pursuit for the Bobcats.
3:08 left in the game.
3:08 remaining in this ball game here at Corry Field in Quincy, Florida.
Ooh.
And we have a incomplete pass. Wild one here coming from JP2. Still going for it, man. As we get some other scores from around the bend, Osceola Christian defeats Joshua Christian. Warriors stay perfect on the season. 8-0 now, Joe. 41-6 the tally. And Wakulla got the big win last night versus Gainesville. Wakulla won 40-7. They are also perfect. So Wakulla 9-0, Osceola 8-0. Our two remaining undefeated Big Bend teams. Deep, Wolf's gonna go over the middle. Pass intended. I believe that was for Outley once again. Jeremiah Outley coming over the middle. So it'd be 4th down once again. It's going to be 4th and about 13 to go here for the Panthers. So, Joe, we've seen them go for it once. They're going to do it again here on this drive?
Well, I would have said no, but I'm not the coach either.
This is true. And a lot of times we just see it, teams just not having the personnel, especially at the smaller schools, for a kicking game. So a lot of teams going for it here on 4th down. Throws it over the top. It looked like Outley out of the slot. He'll cash this one in for a touchdown. So JP2 from 42 yards out cashes it in for 6. I don't see any penalty on the flags on the field here. 47-20. Nice hookup. That number 6, right, Joe?
Number 6.
Jeremiah Outley on the reception. Big time haul in for him. JP2 puts it up now to a 4-score ball game. Still rolling here in quarter number 4 is JP2. St. John Paul II, of course, making the trip on up from Southwood here to the east. Of course, unable to field a team last year towards the end of the season, so they did not play this matchup last year, Joe. It was a 2-0 State of Florida victory for Munroe due to forfeit. 2-0 was the score, but you go back to the games that they actually played, Joe, before that matchup. They were decided on the field. 5 of the last 6 games have gone to St. John Paul II in this matchup. Starting at 2017 and going back in time, these are your score lines from those games: 49-0, 61-14, 51-0, and 51-16. Munroe snuck one in there in 2013, 34-32. Back in 2012, JP2 55-14. So at least in this decade, for the majority of the decade, it has been dominated by JP2. Surge off the right-hand side, try to get the conversion. It was a fridge formation look coming there for John Paul II as they tried to punch that one in. The conversion unsuccessful there as they tried to go with the old sneak right down the middle. So it'll stay at the 27-point advantage here with 2:40 to go in quarter number 4. And this is kind of reminiscent of what we saw a couple years ago back in the day when they had Brian Wooden, Sam Smith, those guys. And it was a really up-tempo, run-and-gun kind of offense for JP2 from what we've seen with the vertical threats that they've gone in the second half. A nice little pooch kick. Ball on the ground will be
out of bounds.
Touched out of bounds. Looks like Jamarion Wimes was the man to touch it and press that one out to the perimeter. So here with 2:40 to go still, as the ball was never fielded in bounds. 1st down and 10. Munroe's going to take over. Of course, put in a furious effort has Munroe. Part of a very exciting, especially first half. Good ball game throughout, though, but so far, JP2 outscoring Munroe in the second half, 20-0. No points allowed here in the second half, Joe, as we are 21 minutes and 20 seconds deep into this second half. Starters still out in the field for Munroe. Looks like they broke the huddle with 12 guys. Able to sneak somebody off there without a penalty flag. And they broke the huddle with 13. Refs didn't catch it. Wow. So they keep it going. Xavier Gray with some protection going deep far sideline. And it was in and out of the hands of the defensive back. But once again, great positioning for JP2. Really locking down the interior of these receivers, Joe. They're not letting them break on the inside and get an easy post. What they're forcing Gray to do is throw all the way over the top and try to hit these receivers in stride or on that front shoulder, if you will.
Exactly.
So I love the positioning out here. Good pass breakup by JP2. It's going to set up a 2nd down and 10 to go here for Munroe. Gray can throw a good ball, though. I've been impressed. He's had some dimes out here, especially that one over the shoulder here to Jordan near side. See if they get him involved. He's on the open side of the field here with the 3-wide receiver look, and it's going to be a fumble on the play there. Still out. Ball's bouncing around about the 30-yard line. JP2 falling on top of it. A big recovery there on the near side. Is that 56, Joe? A little Peyton Lambert recovery.
That's 56 Lambert.
Good recovery by Lambert, diving on it. The roll gets him that extra 4 or 5 yards. And JP2 once again with the ball here on the 30-yard line, already up by 27. But based on what we've seen, I think they're going to come out slinging it again. Let's get this thing going.
And we have another quarterback out there.
A little change here. Number 1 on the depth chart is Bryson Hill, but that is definitely not Bryson Hill. I can tell you that. Here we have 2:19 here remaining in quarter number 4. 139 ticks of the clock. Going to go single back set here with the new quarterback. We apologize. Do not have him on the depth chart. He's going to go quarterback keeper off the right-hand side. Circling around a couple-yard gain as he presses to about the 33, making up some of that penalty yardage, but still going to be around 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13 to go.
2nd and 13.
So, of course, the rule in the state of Florida, Joe, is that you can only play 1 football game a week. So if you have a JV player and the JV team either doesn't have a game or the JV's on bye or the JV season is done, you can thus bring them up to varsity, even if only for a week. So I believe that is the scenario we have here. The young man wearing number 1, that is definitely not Bryson Hill, who's listed as number 1 in the roster. It's a high snap, unable to be handled by the JP2 quarterback, and Munroe's going to dive on top of it. Big fumble recovery there. Keyshawn Mashburn, the defensive lineman, able to get on top of it. So Munroe back on offense here, the 40-yard line, taking over. Still a chance, Joe, here. 1st down and 10, 91 ticks of the clock remaining.
Try to just get maybe one more score. Just a little pride here.
See if they can get a big hitter. I want to see if they I'd like to see some kind of combo route. If they put
a wheel route.
Yeah, a little wheel route. Or if you have Jordan and Robinson. Something that we haven't seen is Jordan Robinson, obviously the speedy tailback and the big wideout number 1 on the same side of the field. Or maybe put him with Atkins Jr. Maybe like a post-go combo. As here we go, Atkins Jr. and Jordan are going to be on the right side of the formation, on the big side of the field, if you will, as the ball's on the left hash mark there on the right. Gray's going to be in the shotgun. Sidecar right is Baruti. The lone wide receiver out here near side is going to be Saylor. Pressure coming. Gray's just got to escape and run for his life. He gets back to line of scrimmage and a little extra yardage. Big-time hit be laid down by Daniel Dial, the junior linebacker. Brings Gray to the ground, but he'll pick up a couple. 2nd down, about 7 or 8 to go for the Bobcats in Munroe as we approach 1 minute to play.
Gray on the carry.
Of course, both these teams in the 2A classification in Region 1. Coming into this matchup, of course, they were 10 and 11 in their respective regions in the RPI rankings that came out this Tuesday for the FHSAA. Of course, in the 2A classification, only the top 6 teams will make the postseason. First 2 teams getting a bye. So if it started today, both these teams on the outside looking in. Munroe trying to get back into this one, though, as Jordan goes around the perimeter. Clock will continue to run. He was tackled inbounds. All that to say is, of course, with the records out here, JP2 looking to hold on to their third victory here, Joe, but still a season ahead. And for Munroe, still got a couple big matchups down the stretch here. Want to finish strong for the Bobcats, as like we talked about, solid junior class. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with and in the conversation here in 2A in 2020. Quick hitter from Gray to Jordan. Nice stiff arm coming near side, and that will be the final play of the game, but he stays in bounds. He wants to make the final play a touchdown. He's pushed out right around the 20-yard line. A huge gain there by Jordan, about a 40-yard pickup, and that is how we will end this matchup. 47-20 is your final here. St. John Paul II proving victorious, 27-point margin of victory.